Hello, everyone, and welcome to Block Party number 49. It is February 5th, 2021. This is the 49th consecutive 24-hour collective intelligence block party. And as always, we kick it off with a 2-hour segment of food healers from 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific time, and then again 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time to make it friendly to everyone all around the world. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce the founder of Food Healers and Climate Healers and so many wonderful things, my brother, Dr. Silas Rao. We love you, Silas. Welcome. Please take it away, and we can pass it around and talk about process. But first, I want to give you the talking feather, Silas.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you everybody for being here. It's the first Food Healers after our convergence, so we are just still digesting what we learned during the convergence. It's a lot of stuff that happened, and yeah, we had a great presentation on default to edge, which is making vegan the default everywhere. And I connected with someone who worked with who's working with corporations. So did you know that there is a vegan leaders in corporate management? And they have over 5,000 members who are in all the Fortune 500 companies around the world. And yeah, so I'm just trying to connect the two of them together so you can have default wedge in every corporation. This is the way to go, right?
Wow. So it's called Vegan Leaders in Corporate Management?
Yeah, it's veganleaders.com.
Beautiful. Fantastic. Yeah, I enjoyed being on the Vegan Convergence last weekend, which you hold every quarter. And a lot of great conversations there. We've got a number of folks here, including some new guests, and welcome Ray from Canada. I'd love to talk a little about process because we've been playing some really interesting games this last week where we pass the talking feather around and give everyone like 2 minutes to talk. And we find it's really powerful for just getting lots of ideas flowing and giving everyone a chance to speak. Raise your hand if you'd like be excited to play that game. And of course, speaking is always optional. You can always pass. All right, shall we give it a go? And I'm happy to moderate and even keep time. And what I would do is hold up one finger when you're at 1 minute, two fingers when you're at 2 minutes. And if I hold up two fingers and you're at 2 minutes, doesn't mean you have to shut up right away. Just means, kind of taper off. So should we do it in alphabetical order? Would that make sense? Might as well. I think Alan and BJ would take the lead, and Christopher. All right, shall we do it? And we are recording. People will come in over time. We'll welcome them as they do. Alan, you ready for 2 minutes of fame?
Well, I don't know that I'll need my whole 2 minutes, but I'm glad to be here and glad that there are new people here. It's good to see you, everyone. I was thrilled to be a part of the convergence, finding my part in helping this new vegan world come about ASAP is a little bit difficult sometimes, finding what is the best thing for me to be doing. Should I be working on this project or that project? And what feels really good to me and feels really clear is that with climate healers, there is action. Sometimes I don't feel like I know how to do enough. There's so many things to go to, but I learn. And this weekend, I just sent a letter connecting two people from the convergence together who will then, propagate more people involved. So I just want to say I'm feeling really grateful to Dr. Rao and all the people that attend and listen. And I also have to give a big plug to his keynote address on climate healers. It's fantastic. And also go to climatehealers.org and look at the webinars, the education, the webpage is just fantastic. I think that's what I wanted to say. Thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you, BJ. So wonderful to have you here. All right, next up is Kate. Kate's sister. Great to see you. Take it away if you're ready.
Yeah, I really think I already verbally expressed what I wanted to. There's some brilliant minds here, and I think when we put our minds together, who knows what we might come up with. So I'm excited about all of it. You know, I have to say that during this whole vegan world, you know, I've kind of done the transition. It's like, well, I still have eggs in my refrigerator. That's because I'm not eating the eggs, you know. So maybe when I'm going to plant them in the spring in my garden as fertilizer, I think. But anyway, here it is. The biggest stock show in the country is happening here in Rapid City this week. And so a lot of me feels like I should have gone and spoken to more people, but you know what? There's just no talking to these people here. They are, you know, animal agriculture is their livelihood and has been. And one little, I don't know. Anyway, I know that we're plugging ahead into a new world. So I feel like we're all doing what we can from where we are, and just honored to be in circle with you all. And I'd like to pass the talking feather now. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kate. All right, next up is Christopher up in Canada. Christopher, brother, take it away if you're ready.
Yeah, hi there, everybody. I'm also honored to be here. The convergence this past weekend was really an amazing event for me. Yeah, I just wanted to express gratitude being here with everybody, and hopefully we can co-create, combine our ideas in a way that's effective, moving this forward, take some action. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Christopher. Awesome. All right, next up is my sister, Danny. Great to see you here, Danny, from Georgia.
Hey guys. I've been working with Climate Healers and getting the convergences on the, we're part of the planning and action group there. And we were debating, and I think it's actually kind of something we're doing now, where we're going to try to have monthly topics with action plans, panels brought in. And I think food healers would probably be number one. We have to get together on this, but so maybe we can use this forum to help us recruit attendance for that, so we could kind of, I guess, congeal, what's the word I'm looking for, around an action step, you know, to take it from, you know, go one more. I mean, this is nice. You have a lot of people coming here that might want to, you know, get together on one step forward. You know, from our angle, veganism solves so many problems. So the first thing any individual can do is go vegan. And we have plenty of documentation on how that affects climate, compassion, economy, things like that, consumerism, greed, stuff like that, and how that farms out, you know, and what the shifts are. So I would encourage anybody in this room who's concerned about activity to consider making the vegan transition. We've got tons of resources to help you at climatehealers.org and support, and you can come to any of our Zooms. We do several activities a week. And Jamin is up on those as well. So if you feel frustrated that you're not taking a step, it's a very simple personal step that you can make that affects a lot of other beings on this planet. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Danny. Absolutely. All righty. Next up is Glenn. Aloha, Glenn from Hawaii. Take it away.
Well, aloha, everyone. I'm Glenn, and I'm a networking source for the Ohana Legacy Foundation, which is an expression that's emerged from another nonprofit, Good of the Whole. So you can learn about us at ohanalegacyfoundation.org. We've at the foundation, we continue to evolve. And most recently, we're evolving into whole systems living. So I think coming a little bit from work with Buckminster Fuller on whole systems and Barbara Marx Hubbard, we're about developing shelter, food, and climate change collectively as a whole package. So looking at things like, well, we've got a team working on hemp farming to create both hemp seed for nutrition and hemp straw for construction materials. And then bringing that into the housing needs that we have, especially here on Kauai, but across the world, to integrate that with 3D printing of houses. And then using hemp building materials in place of things like drywall and lumber and other things. Part of my team is scouring Home Depot and Lowe's right now, making a list of all the possible materials that we might substitute in place of materials that aren't so great for our climate. So we've been working for about 2 years now, and we just keep growing and expanding and evolving, and really allowing the team here is connected on multiple dimensions. And so it's really pretty simple to pay attention to what's mine to do, how big can I play, go bold, and have gratitude for the work that everyone is doing, both in the physical and the non-physical. So, mahalo, mahalo.
Mahalo. Beautiful, Glenn. Wow, so much resonance here. Yeah, you're very much at home here. So happy you're here. All righty. Next up is Jamin, followed by my sister Leslie. Jamin, take it away. Don't mind if I do. So here on the Block Party, we cover lots of different topics. As Sir Roland pointed out earlier, climate change is absolutely crucial. And I spent years in a way kind of banging my head against the wall, pushing solar radiation management, SRM. And I found so few people were willing to listen, even people who were concerned about climate change. And so then I dug deeper and I said, what is it that's preventing people from listening, right? And one answer I've come up with, or part of the answer, is that we as a species are trapped in this all-day monopoly game of individual hoarding for individual survival. And the survival of the collective, that's someone else's problem, the government's problem, I don't know. But that creates a blindness, like a bunch of 10-year-old kids who are just playing this all-day monopoly game and don't even look out the window to see what a beautiful day they're missing outside. That's us. And so asking ourselves, how do we liberate humanity from this all-day monopoly game so that we can see the world around us and what's going on and see our sisters and brothers? For me, the first step is food healers, and specifically the big, bold project of feeding everyone on the planet, making sure everyone has 3 meals a day, complete full spectrum, plant-based nutrition, immune boosting, with so many benefits. So you'll often hear me talking about the first step in my mind should be feeding everyone, but don't be fooled. That's not my only focus. There are so many things that I believe immediately can follow from that. And as Danny pointed out, the benefits of going vegan are myriad, and taking a big, bold approach. I think will finally wake up the world to veganism. Anyway, those are my 2 minutes. I'm going to pass the talking feather. Welcome again, everyone, to my sister, Leslie. Leslie, take it away. Great to see you.
Beautiful seeing all of you. I see this in my inbox and I always want to come because I have to always start somewhere else in half an hour from now. So thank you. I've used up most of my 2 minutes saying I'm sorry because that's a typical Canadian thing to do. So I want to relate specifically to Rebecca and Glenn when we say, how do we find out where we're meant to play? And I think when we start to find out where we're meant to play, then our resonance of what we do shifts. And so where I'm playing right now and is in the arena of peace. And I appreciate that everybody goes, oh, such a huge topic, like who would take that on? But I'm leading a peace labyrinth, 21-day step into peace. And we are based on the premise that if we really did understand how to bring about peace, and that is through food and shelter and all of those things and climate change, if we really knew the way in, we would be doing it. And so our premise is that we don't really understand what peace is. And I mean that on a global level. We have rhetoric. We have millions of people working on it. We have millions of articles written on it. And the premise is, if that's true, why isn't it happening? And so we believe there's a mystery still to be solved about what is Peace 2021. And so the Peace Lab is the short form of Peace Labyrinth. And we are in the midst, we're day 4 on the 21-day step in to the labyrinth. And on March the 1st to 5th, we will be on the Humanity Rising stage, unfolding the center of the labyrinth, which is what is peace in 2021. And that is going to be an interesting 5 days of having folks come into that space on that global audience and really dig deep into the schisms and the mystery. And we hope that by day 5, we're mobilizing into a different definition, a different resonance, a different frequency of peace, which then makes it possible to undertake the types of initiatives that you're so beautifully referring to here. So I welcome you into the Peace Lab if you wish to partake. And I hope that our paths will cross as we do all of this in a co-creative way together. That's me.
Beautiful. Thank you, Leslie. All righty. Up next, we've got my brother Ray up in Canada, followed by Sir Roland, followed by Silas. And by the way, we're going to keep passing the talking feather around, so you'll have other bites at the apple. All right, Ray, take it away if you're.
Oh no, I'm revealing my fake background.
Yay, Ray's here.
Good morning, everyone. Still just making my coffee, so I'll make an attempt at being coherent. I've been giving a lot of thought about how I've been a media professional all my life, and yet at the same time, I started my education in mass communications and switched majors because Noam Chomsky convinced me that the mass media was pretty much a sounding board for commercial interests and manufacturing consent for war. And I think their intent was to convince us to be better at mass communicating. And instead, I was just discouraged and decided I want to just go directly into fiction, which was really my passion, telling lies, make stuff up. So I spent so much of my life involved in television, ironically ending up as a video editor working for a television show called Living Truth, which was a religious-based program out of a church in Toronto. That was my main job for 20 years. And after I became vegan while I was working at this organization. I'm not sure how cool they were with me being vegan, but I was outsourced. I think I was kind of moved out with the retiring series of my producers were retiring at the time, and I think I just kind of went out with the old folks. So now I'm kind of come full circle, and I'm just got this, passion for truth. It's come back, and I'm kind of digging into those old roots and finding the wisdom of Noam Chomsky and taking it seriously this time around. And really, I think it was when I watched Cowspiracy, and it had a few hints that there was some stories going on in the background that didn't quite add up. And when I delved into it, I discovered that it was just something that just so much truth that is not going to go away. That's something that just needs to be revealed. And Dr. Rao, of course, was an executive producer of Cowspiracy, and following his legacy and his perspective of systemic understanding of the universe has helped me so much in that journey. And conversations like this study of mass communications, it's really coming full circle, where we had television and film, and I had to decide between these two. And in film school, you're kind of taught that film is art and television is a piece of furniture in your living room. So obviously they want you to go for the art. They want you to go for the tell the truth, but it's the capital T. You're telling fiction, but you want to have some sort of a truth behind it. So there are elements of that. There is ways to tell fictions that develop the ideas that we all need to know, the things that we've kind of tapped into. So I'm at that crossroads right now. I'm really examining how this communication has changed, and Jamin in particular has taught me that communication has kind of come full circle to that campfire. This is the digital campfire. This is the tribe that gets around the campfire, tells our stories, and makes sense of it. We are a tribe that have something in common. So let's share that.
Beautiful, beautiful, Ray. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, what a wonderful group we got here. Welcome everyone. And I didn't know that Glenn was, someone mentioned that yesterday, that one of the original founders of the Harmonic Convergence back in '87. Wow. And yeah, this exists in large part thanks to that. And I'm sure we'll get to that story soon. So thank you, Glenn. All right, next up we've got Sir Roland, followed by Silas, followed by Simon. Sir Roland, take it away.
Well, Glenn, you're wonderful, but I got a shock. Veganism is wrong. It is wrong. Get it in your heads. I was a vegan since 1962, and it just about took my life 5 years ago. Why? Because I ate too much cheese. No. And I didn't reduce my salt. What it's been replaced by, and make the jump. Whole plant-based diet with Furman and Greger. They've got the research. They've got the correct stuff, and just jump there now. Okay? So that's my startling open statement. But Glenn, what you're doing is fabulous. I continue to support what you're doing very much. Amen. Alleluia. Wow. Waheguru Hare Krishna Muhammad.
Thank you, Sir Roland. And I think what you meant to say was that vegetarianism is wrong because of the dairy component.
Vegan is vegetarian.
Actually, they're quite different. Vegan is 100% plant-based. Vegetarian in some formulations includes all forms of dairy. Then there's pescatarian, lacto-ovo vegetarian. So
Right.
vegetarian.
Dairy cannot be included.
I couldn't agree with you more. And that's the very definition of
Well,
veganism and how it,
Matter of definition here, because dairy is the #1 cause for suicide in youth today in the United States.
well, we're about to hear from the
Amen.
grandmaster of the veganism, Dr. Silas Rao, followed by Simon. Take it away, Silas.
Thank you, Jamin. Veganism is literally, it's a way of life in which we treat animals without hurting them. We treat animals as having the right to live the life on their own without being exploited by us. Which brings me to the two major foundational flaws in our current civilization. Flaws meaning, this is not in alignment with nature. The #1 flaw is that the pursuit of happiness is best accomplished by stoking and satisfying a series of latent desires in human beings, which is where all the corporate advertising, all these things come from. The notion that we can just pursue happiness by doing that. So that's the first foundational flaw in the civilization. And the second is that life is a competitive game in which the strong can enslave, possess, and exploit animals, nature, and the weak for the pursuit of happiness, which was flawed to begin with. The whole idea was flawed to begin with. And with those two foundations, our civilization is grinding out its own destruction. But in the process, it's created this technology that allows us to create a tribe around the whole world. Okay, so we have to be thankful for that. But now we are called to build a new civilization on natural laws that are true. Which is the pursuit of happiness is best accomplished by looking within. Happiness is within you all the time. It always has been. And secondly, life is a cooperative game in which we each give what we can, receive what we need, and become all that we are, which is Dr. Shelley Ostrov's Vitality Code. And to do that, we need to make sure that to transition from where we are to where we need to be, we need to get human beings healthy. Because if human beings are not healthy, they are not going to think about these things. They don't care about these things. And we have to get healthy in order to solve this problem as a species, because the bears are not going to do it. The lions are not going to do it. They cannot solve climate change for us. It's up to us as a species to come together to do it. And that's why I think Food Healers is so important, because it's not that complicated to get people good food so that they can heal themselves and give it as a gift, an offering. When we look at all the money we accumulated in the old civilization, the crumbling civilization that we are in, you realize it's all blood money anyway. So we need to use it for transforming ourselves. With that, I'm complete. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Silas. All righty, and welcome Kelly up in Canada with Ray. Next up is Simon in England, followed by Summer Eternity. Take it away, Simon. Great to see you.
Thank you, Jamin. All very interesting. We cut to the chase. I need help to the extent that I've got a pragmatic plan, and I have serious failings in my skill set, let's put it that way, to bring it into reality. It centers around a belief that to address climate and all other issues, health, hunger, we need to relocalize massively, reverse this globalization. So I've got a website which is called Just Cooperate. The idea is to develop just communities with a Just Shop Local campaign, with the idea that every time somebody spends money with a local business, a donation is made to a local project. And I'd very much like that money to be invested, one project to be to feed the local community for free. So very much learning from Jamin's initiative, but on a local basis, whereby the idea is that everybody will be encouraged to contribute some vegan paste, some vegetables, fruits, whatever it is, based upon the belief that, you know, even if somebody's living in a 4th story block of flats, they can grow something on their windowsill. So the idea is we collect this locally, make a local produced vegan meal available for free. And then when people shop locally, the donation could go to that local project, which would provide the funding. Sorry, lost my train of thought because the phone's going. And then to build upon that is that I'm inspired by a quote by a lady that some of you may know called Anna LePay, who's an American sustainable food advocate. She's got this quote: every time you spend money, you're casting a vote for a kind of world you want. So I want to develop the Just Cooperate platform to incorporate any product or service, to take people from this all-day monopoly game to a sharing ethos, funded by mainstream purchases, basically. And this is another book that I take a lot of from, is Nathan Schneider, you may have heard of. Talks about platform co-ops, which is a follow-on from what have been termed Death Star platforms, Airbnb, Uber, these sorts of things, which again are about extracting huge amounts of wealth for the benefit of a handful of people. A platform co-op is an online platform designed to transform the way we live. So taking all the advantages of modern technology, taking business, but simply reapplying it to a vastly different purpose. So any help would be grateful, mostly technical. Thank you, Jamie.
Simon, could you put your information, your email and your website, et cetera, where we can get a little more insight into what you're doing in the chat for us? I would probably want to support you. I don't know what I can offer you, but I'm on the co-op vision myself. And so I need more resources, especially in terms of you know, how this looks in reality. So I would love to have that. My name is Danielle.
Okay, I'll do that now. Thank you.
Okay, and I'll put my email in there as well. Thanks so much, Simon.
Awesome. Thank you, Simon. Thank you, Danny. All right. Next up, we've got Summer in Los Angeles, followed by Jimena in Mexico City. Summer, great to see you. Take it away. If you're on mute. There you go.
Thank you. Good to be here. It's my second time of joining this group. First time was last evening. I have spent a large part of my life learning how to make a contextual shift personally myself, and guiding other people in methods to do that. and looking at that contextual shift as key to making a difference, no matter what we do, no matter what our techniques are for supporting global transformation. That key to it is individuals and groups being able to shift out of a context of addiction, denial, survival chemistry, into a context of freedom and ease and communion and connection and peace and love and all the good stuff. It's been maybe a year or so that I've been involved with a group called New Republic of the Heart, that are a group of evolutionaries looking at what can we do to make a difference, including being able to get into a space of consciousness that helps promote in ourselves and in each other, being able to feel and know the truth, and also then know what can each of us or us collectively do to support what's going on here. So that's enough for now. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Summer. Oh my goodness. So much wonderful stuff here. All righty. We've got Jimena up next, followed by Kelly. And we're just kind of going around the circle, roughly 2 minutes per talk. And it's okay to pass the feather. All right, Jimena, great to see you, sister. Take it away.
Yes, it is nice to be here with you all. This is my first time in Climate Healers at this schedule. I would try to be here often because I am at 7 p.m. Dr. Salish, your conference was so inspiring. If you take away the human factor, it wouldn't have been the same. I was so inspired by the kids. Kimala, your granddaughter, is like a gift to us because new generations are going like to show the way so much. I am in the transition of becoming vegan also because of health issues and because I care very much about the animals, our planet, and all the projects that could join us in order to have a better world. And I'm so happy to be sharing here with you, and thank you for everything you have done, Dr. Salish. Like, you're an inspiration, really. And thank you for the space. I'm passing the talking feather.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jimena. And Jimena is here usually often in the evenings. So that's why this is her first time in this morning segment. But she's an absolute pillar to this community. All righty. So next up we have Kelly. And I think at that point, we'll go back around the top of the alphabet. Kelly, great to see you. Take it away.
Thanks, Jamie. Are we just doing like introductions?
Introductions and also just, anything we want to share, anything at all. It could be, hey, I think this is really important, whatever it is, information, whatever you got.
Okay, so I've been listening or participating probably since Jamin's first Friday all 24-hour show, or whatever you want to call this. Block party. Thank you. I have attended all of Silash's Up Convergence when it was with Up Convergence, but all of his convergences. And I have a company, the Vegan Abler, that I've been kind of just half working on. And I see the urgency. Salash has shown me the urgency and shown me that, like, this is something that I know needs to be done, and everything that I've been doing in the past and being in corporate and that, it's meaningless to me. It's, on top of it, just, from a personal perspective, isn't fulfilling. It's just unimportant. There's just something much bigger that needs to be done. And I would like to participate in that by offering my support as a vegan coach. I've been vegan for 7 years, and I agree. There's so much food insecurity, and you know, I love what we've been talking about, Jamin, with the idea of feeding people, and I want to do that on a very community-based level, you know, and make sure that in addition to just feeding people, you know, or asking people to do this and that we offer that support for people who do actually want to make diet changes. And so that's where the Veganabler would come in, is, you know, working with institutions, working with organizations, working with people who are doing this type of outreach to make sure that, you know, people have that support in every community. Because we need to make diet changes. Our planet depends on it.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kelly. All righty. Now we'll go back around the top of the alphabet, and it'll be interesting to see if we can sort of move towards some sort of a convergence with a nod to harmonic convergence. You know, what is it we need to focus on first, second, third? What are the crucial missing steps? There are so many meetings like this, so many groups, and yet we remain so fragmented. So just a thought. All righty. Alan, if you're ready, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, and thank you, everyone. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, BJ, I was mentioning Alan, but he may actually, I haven't seen him unmute his microphone. So
Pardon.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, he may be offline. That's all right. Anyway, so in that case, go ahead, BJ. You're right on cue.
My last name is Allen, so I I did that. I've been following Dr. Rao for, I think, since 2015, when I first saw his talk at the 2015 climate, the Paris climate talks in 2015, and then at the European Union, and trying to find my part, and have found my part in many ways, many times. And sometimes I'm surprised that that I do have a part here, and I am playing it. Just recently with the food healers, someone in one of these groups were talking about immune boosters. And so I started an immune booster group. And with the help of a friend, Joya Wesley, we got that off the ground and we started delivering food. And that's because I came here and because Dr. Rao had been doing the same thing, delivering food himself to people in need. And so I thought, well, I can do that. And so I started that. And although it has changed its form right now, these past few weeks, we haven't been delivering food. People are not needing it, but they do need information. And so this weekend, Joya and I'll be hosting her to the Calaboose African American History Museum. And so she will be speaking to them about food, slave foods, and freedom food. How can we be free? So there are many different ways we can work in as individuals in small groups, but in the back of my mind and at the front of my mind, I still want to think big, because we are, as Sir Roland says, it is an emergency. And as Dr. Rao says, it is an emergency. So sometimes I just want to go outside and to my neighbors and start putting signs up. But if that makes them resist, then that's not going to move us forward. So finding where people are, and speaking with them with love and providing them food. And then for those that are open, they can hear. I was fortunate enough to lead a food healers talk this weekend. That's also on the Climate Healers webpage, where people are providing food in many different ways. And I think maybe I'm close to my 2 minutes. I'll pass this talking stick. Thank you.
Beautiful, BJ. Thank you so much. All righty. And Alan, whenever you come to, just let us know. Meanwhile, we got Kate, followed by Christopher, and welcome Joyce. Joyce, we're just kind of passing the talking feather around, roughly 2 minutes each. So we'll get to you shortly. And we're just introduction, as well as whatever we're offering to the community, and also seeing if we can sort of converge on something, if that's where this takes us. Kate, take it away, sister.
So Kate will introduce herself briefly to, there may be some people in the circle that don't know me. And so I'm here in South Dakota. I'm in Lakota Treaty Land. I'm in the Missouri River watershed. Leslie and I will be jumping out because we've been doing this Humanity Rising call for a while. As you know, Stan Poker came in one day, and so I took a field trip with Stan, loved what I saw. I've been going back every day. And of course, I keep looking, you know, when the AMP field came in, when the Global Heart team took us to that meditation room, the Global Heart, you know, I mean, I keep thinking maybe this is it. This is what's going to bring. So right now, I'm glad that all of these brilliant ideas and thought leaders are communicating. And I'm really hopeful about this peace experiment that's going on with Humanity Rising. So I will, with that, I'll say that's why I'm leaving at 9. Appreciate all you do in the world and loving you all.
Love you, Kate, sister. Wonderful. So great to see you. Come back anytime. And by the way, everyone, feel free to just come and go as you please. That's kind of the spirit of the 24-hour block party. All righty. Next up, we got Christopher, followed by Danny. Take it away.
I think it was Glenn that mentioned when he was speaking that we got to pay attention not just to the physical, but the non-physical forces at work here. I don't know if that's out of bounds for anybody that's here to talk about, but I personally have had some pretty strong synchronicities with this group. And interestingly enough, there's a festival that normally takes place in Guelph every year in Ontario, Canada, and that's whereabouts. I'm from Kitchener, which is right by Guelph. The Harmonic Convergence this year ended the same time that festival normally ends. I couldn't go there because of COVID, so I was here. And it's interesting because a lot of the values that festival represents actually are embodied here at the conversation. And what's interesting also is Hillside, the festival has a winter festival, and that's actually on today right now. So if anybody wants information about that, I'll put that in the chat. But we have the original Harmonic Convergent, one of the original folks who helped with it back in the 80s, Glenn, who is here right now. So a bunch of connections there. I'm sorry if that's a little confusing, but I thought that was interesting for myself. I like following the trail of synchronicities, or the Synchronicity Express, as Kate Roberts likes to call it. I feel like that seems to indicate we're on the right path. So I just wanted to share that story with you guys. Thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you, Christopher. And welcome back, Marco. Welcome, Lucas. Great to see everyone here. We're just passing the talking feather around, roughly 2 minutes a pop, and going around the circle. Just introducing ourselves, sharing what we have to share, and also seeing what we can do in terms of converging or convergence. All right, next up we've got Danny, followed by Glenn. Take it away, Danny.
I didn't have my hand up, so I'm good. I'm just listening. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, totally fine to pass. All right, Glenn.
Well, aloha again. And I'll just briefly, I had the honor really to be on the team with Jose Arguelles, who wrote the book, The Mayan Factor, back in 1987. And Jose was in Boulder, Colorado, which is where I spent about 40 years. And it was our first project, really the first time I'd worked with Barbara Marx Hubbard. But the team, we had the Roskis from Hummingbird Ranch in New Mexico now, and us, and just a team of fantastic people that were putting this together. And my wife had a publishing company at the time in Boulder, and Jose was having his challenges with languaging what harmonic convergence was about. And so my wife Marion took on the task of condensing that into a one-page document that could be circulated around the planet. And when we got our first office space donated, as we plugged in the phones started ringing, and we were just overwhelmed with the response that just began emerging. really culminated a few weeks later when we had a global radio show on NPR that my wife produced, and just connecting in people from across the planet and having conversations and connecting, just kind of similar to what we're doing right here, sharing and connecting and just allowing magic to emerge. So I feel like it's not complicated. It's really just about us being willing to be connected, whole, and used, and to pay attention to that. And there's no in my view, there's no really work involved, and there's no urgency involved either. In that, a big part of my work today is to be patient and relax into the timing of the universe, and just to allow and then notice when I get the nudge, and trust the nudge, and respond and make that call, or get up early and jump on a Zoom like this. It's dark out here in Hawaii, and so anyway, that's probably enough for this cycle. There is a word I want to throw into the circle to talk next time around, and that's nonprofit capitalism, which is a new word in my vocabulary. But if you do a little Google search, you'll find that it's really been around a long time, and it's like, anyway, we can talk more about that later. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Thank you, Glenn. All righty. Next up is Jamin, followed by Joyce, followed by Lucas. We're just passing around the talking feather, roughly 2 minutes a pop. Okay to take a pass. Glenn, you mentioned, patience, and that's one thing that I've had to learn. I'm a Taurus, and so sometimes I just get very stubborn and just want to plow ahead. And oh, cool. Well, mahalo. Anyway, so I talked about, the urgency of cooling the planet through solar radiation management, but then taking a step, what I think of as upstream, to getting humanity unified by feeding everyone the right foods, plant-based foods. And then, so we've been working away at that. And then for me, upstream still from that is, again, as you mentioned, Glenn, what we're doing right here, coming together to talk about it, share about it, come up with a plan, start implementing it, etc. And with a view to that, ever since COVID in the last year, the Zoomosphere, as we call it, has just exploded. So many meetings and groups and communities and all this, and yet we remain so fragmented. And so one of the things that we've taken on lately here is creating a whole new construct, which is, we call it the Intentional City in the Clouds, or ICIC as an acronym. ICIC. As a place where all intentional communities are welcome, and where we can create the safe space in the clouds. And that's a whole co-creative effort that we're embarking upon. Lots more to say about that. As far as food healers and feeding everyone, I'll just flash a couple of images on the screen very briefly, and then we can talk more about this later. But we have this vision of starting off the Food Healers Project with a kind of a basic staple food, 100% plant-based stew. And oops, looks like I've got the wrong image up there. Anyway, I think, you saw it briefly. Anyway, my 2 minutes are up, so I'll pass. I'll talk more about that on the next go round. Next up, we've got Joyce, followed by Lucas. Take it away, Joyce.
Oh, sorry, I had to leave for a little bit and take a phone call. My sister's husband is in the hospital right now. So, I guess what I would say as far as I've never come into the Food Healers group before. So I'll just talk a little bit about the Amazonian SOS, and I'm trying to jump on that when I can and learn what I can. And I guess my contribution so far has been to help Oriana really with putting together a few videos that we're working on gathering photos for, and just kind of reviewing different things that her husband Randall really has the expertise to like pull those videos together. So I'm still learning and just helping out with in ways that I'm able to. So thank you. And I'm going to stay for a bit and listen to what this Food Healers group is about because it sounds interesting. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Joyce. Great to have you here, and prayers for your brother-in-law. And thank you for your work for Amazonia. In 1 hour, we'll have an hour segment on Amazonia right here in this same channel after Food Healer. So please stick around for that. Next up, we've got Lucas, followed by Marco, and welcome Nancy. Nancy will be next after Marco. Lucas, take it away.
Hello, my name is Lucas, and yeah, I've basically been researching how it is the body works, how it is the mind works, and basically been coming to understand how bacteria works in the gut, along with mineral absorption, how important all the 18 amino acids, how phytonutrients are incredibly important when it comes to organ function, and as well when it comes to cell replication cycles, DNA and RNA replication cycles, how it is amino acids and trace minerals can allow for the body to replenish itself as time passes, and how there's a lot of different plant-based foods that have amino acids, being like hemp protein, different legumes, and yeah, basically how the body can function while eating healthy foods. Yeah, and I'm very interested to hear what everybody has to say.
Awesome, Lucas. Thank you so much. Excited to have you here, and lots of good stuff to discuss about all this. All righty, next up we've got Marco, followed by Nancy. Marco, take it away.
Hi, everyone. We do have some newer people here again, so I'll go a little more in depth to me for an introduction. You know, I grew up on a 122-acre farm that we moved to when I was 2 years old, and grew up raising goats, sheep, horses, pigs, cows, just about every animal you can imagine. A few wild ones on occasion. Spend most of my up until about 26 there doing farmers market and many different arts and crafts, pottery, knitting, weaving, you know, spinning yarn. I can do all, you know, kind of woodworking, all those types of things. Then I went into the restaurant business for like about 25 years. Did a little, a couple other things along the way, carpentry, underground utility damage prevention specialist for a few years. And then I found that I worked too hard and kind of destroyed my body pretty much, and became on disability, where I felt kind of useless for a while. Then I found heard about a nuclear dump that was going in near us, which was spurred me into you know, some activism. Became co-founder and director at Great Lakes Environmental Alliance. Still, you know, through my life, I've had you know, a lot of different experiences. Some to do with having seen in person, you know, several times UFOs. So I was kind of drawn to the Harmonic Convergence 2020, where I found the after party here at the Conversation, and quickly fell into becoming a host. Jamin's visions here for SRM Food Healers with Dr. Rao really drew me in, and I've been here ever since July 5th, 2020. So just glad to be here with all these good people. Thank you.
Wonderful. Marco, thank you. And thank you for being such a pillar of the conversation and helping keeping it going 24/7, literally. All righty. Welcome back, Nancy. Nancy is next, followed by Ray and Sir Roland. Go ahead, Nancy.
Greetings, everyone. How are you? I'm just tuning in for a little while. I have to teach a class at noon, so I have to start getting ready about 11:30. But I discovered this through Climate Healers. I met Jamin a year and a half ago, right? 2019. And it was the second year. And I just loved the whole concept, the comprehensiveness of the Climate Healers movement, that it's not just about food, but it's about all of the systems and dysfunctional things that need to be changed in order to create a truly peaceful, loving, kind world where we're not, all dead in a few years from the things that we're doing, the lifestyle that people cling to so dearly. Everybody wants to go back to normal after the pandemic, but I don't, it was normal that got us there. So this is a great time to a rebirth, kind of it's a rebirth period. And what is it? Silish calls it the butterfly, the chrysalis period, and we have to emerge into butterflies. And I love that. There's a wonderful saying that I saw it in a meme that said, just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, he emerged as a butterfly. So thank you very much. And I look forward to hearing everyone else.
Wonderful, beautiful. Thank you, Nancy. All righty. Next, we've got Ray, followed by Sir Roland, followed by Silas. Ray, take it away.
Is there anything in particular we're looking for in our second round?
Well, I had mentioned, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking a question. Go ahead, Ray.
Well, yeah, I am.
Yeah, I had suggested, convergence, how do we converge? Because we're so fragmented. Like, how do we converge, whether on how to get together and unite, or what's the first project we should do as we unite? That's just my suggestion, but feel free to suggest your own.
Yeah, it's something I think about a lot because, everybody has those moments where we go, especially after we see something ridiculous on television, we go, people aren't going to change. We keep doing the same things over and over and over again. But there's things that we do that have never been done before. So there's no reason to think that the human race can't change. And it's part of the narrative that is fed to us by the system that really wants us to be consumer units and not really do much heavy thinking. Even the media, as I mentioned, is just trying to give us a narrow vision of the spectrum of thought between two not really that different ideologies, whereas there's a whole spectrum for us to really open our minds to and recognize that we at the same time we're a species that's created the Anthropocene that most people associate with damage to the earth, that we're living out of harmony with the earth, but it is a word that means that we have more impact on the environment than forces of nature. That in itself isn't evil. It's just that a lot of the stuff that we've been doing has been seemingly evil. So that we kind of struggle with this superiority complex mixed in with self-loathing. And, once you awaken to the damages of the human race, then you start to loathe yourself and loathe your neighbors. And that's not a motivational tool. That's not how you get organized. So I think a lot of it has to do with recruiting. Try to find the people that just get it. Simon Sinek talks about the law of diffusion of innovation. I talk about it all the time. Try to find out where people fit on this curve. Are they laggards? Are they, the people that profit from the status quo? They're not going to help us. Sort them out. Find the people that are ready to change, have all the reasons to change. The people that usually, and the best place to look is the people on the bottom, the people that have constantly been getting the short end of the stick, Indigenous people, poor people who, have suffered from this bootstrap mentality that comes with a capitalist mindset. And I grew up in the 80s. I was for capitalism because it was opposite of communism, and communism was the Russians, right? So now we have a much more, that's kind of what I was talking about, that narrow view of what's right and what's wrong. What are my choices? So now we have that opportunity to just, really put our ideas together and come up with things that we do trial and error. And one of the things I love about Sailesh Rao and his mission is that it's always straight on for the main things, but there's so much adaptability and trying different things to see what works and adapting to what does, and failing forward constantly until it just refines this beautiful image of where we're going. So all for that butterfly culture once we can get through this chrysalis, which is not a delicate process. That's that caterpillar completely liquefying and rebuilding itself from individual cells. So that's a pretty turbulent process. So it doesn't have to be a painful one though.
Beautiful. Thank you, Ray. Oh my goodness. So much good stuff here. All right. Next up, we've got Sir Roland, followed by Silas, followed by Simon. Sir Roland, take it away.
Okay, if anybody knows how to help me get rid of the flicker, tell me. I think this is an absolutely fantastic dialogue. I'm saying dialogue. I am not saying conversation. Let me give you a little bit of my history. I drove the bus for Mexican immigrants or Mexican migrants for my parish in 1957. I was a farm boy. I had a license at 15, a legitimate license. And this is what I discovered. Those people were filled with joy and happiness. And then I say the important word here is to converge. And let me give you a couple little side notes. I was with Barbara in Grant Park in Chicago in I don't know what it was, 67, whenever she was there with the Democratic Convention, and met her and was influenced by her. And then also I was a friend of Buckminster Fuller. Buckminster Fuller came to Minneapolis just when he came out of his 2 years of silence, where he invented the geodesic dome. And of course, then there's a Noatic Institute and so forth that I became a member and so forth. And so I really believe in what we're doing here. Is my life. And here's what I decided who I was years ago. I'm an iron butterfly on a magical mystery tour. Amen.
Beautiful, Sir Roland. Thank you. So blessed to have you here. All righty. Looks like we got Ayabata joining us, and up next is Silas, followed by Simon. Welcome, Ayabata. Ayabata, great to see you. We're just passing the talking feather around, so I'll call on you in a moment. We're talking for about 2 minutes each on whatever we want and seeing how we can converge. Dr. Silas, take it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jamin. I agree with Sir Roland. This is an incredible process that is started here, and I can see the convergence happening. And I would love to help Simon with his this local.coop, because I think that's precisely the kind of thing that we need to do, helping local businesses and then using that to provide food for people, local food for people. And so I think it's a great idea, and I would love to talk to you later and see how we can work together on that. And that is the kind of convergence that needs to happen, and that's happening as we speak. So thank you again for hosting this, Jamin. And I'm complete.
Beautiful. Thank you, Silas. Looks like Danny has a quick question before we pass it on to Simon. Go ahead, Danny.
So a couple of things, Silas. I just emailed Simon. Simon, I just emailed you. You'll receive an email from Danielle Kent. .com, listen to me, Danielle Kent at gmail.com, trying to get you on board with Climate Healers, because we will be having monthly panel meetings going forward. And we will have another quarterly convergence, and we do need a voice from the new business, the new model for business, so to speak. Business needs a new definition. So I alluded to a couple of things in the email that I just sent you. And so, Silas, I would like to be on board with that. Maybe we could all get on a Zoom or somehow to see how we could get some support and maybe help a presentation for talking about cooperatives, which is a page I dedicated to on the website. And I'm hoping, Simon, that you will take me up on my offer to do a page and put your site and some information, your writings about the beautiful world of co-ops, which is sorely needed. So thank you both very much. Thanks for letting me chime in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, Danny. And in fact, we could set up a time here on this channel if you wanted.
Awesome.
But however we can support. All righty, and up next is Simon, followed by Summer. Take it away, Simon.
Thank you, Jamie. Wow, I'm humbled. That is amazing to have those offers. I'm so grateful. Just picking up on something that Glenn said about non-profit capitalism. I don't really think there's any such thing, frankly. Capitalism needs to go, which is incredibly challenging, because in Tewkesbury, in terms of where I live, it's a small market town, about 10,000 people, we have 2 butchers. So how do I dovetail, this conversation, helping small businesses when talking to a butcher? That's a challenge. And also, something came up this morning, a local national chain car accessory shop, which is closing down, and on the local Facebook group, people were getting so excited at the prospect of a fast food franchise taking it over. So we've got a lot on our plate, if you pardon the pun, in terms of educating the majority, the vast majority. We've got these food deserts everywhere, where all that's available is junk food. Interesting listening to Lucas about, educating people about food. So it's a gentle process. We can't bludgeon people into this. But I just to finish, I would say that I describe my co-op as a cooperative commons. I don't even describe it as a business or an enterprise, even though it is. It's intended to make itself obsolete. That's the goal, to use the Buckminster Fuller quote. It's a process with getting rid of money, getting rid of business, getting rid of trade and exchange as the end goal, without scaring the horses. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Simon. Wow. Yeah, I'm feeling the convergence happening here. All righty. Summer is up next, followed by Jimena and then Kelly. Go for it.
Simon, I love it when you talk. I just have such a good feeling about what you're talking about you as a person being like the personal core essence of what you're doing. It always, when I feel that along with a good project, I get a sense of, oh, this is going to work. This is going to be great. So, and it feels really good to have Danny offering support. I think that's a lot of what a call like this is about, is little beepers going off of who can support with what. I think Joyce isn't on right now, but she mentioned Oriana and the rainforest, and I'm in another group with Oriana. And so again, it's just that combo that starts happening among all of us. A couple of years ago, I had this totally naive idea that all we needed to answer what you're talking about, Jamin, of what do we do? There's so many good people doing so many good things. I had this idea, should be easy to implement. Let's just get it going, of a giant platform. And on it, on one side of the table were all the amazing people that are doing good stuff right now. And there's so much amazing good stuff. On the other side of the table are all the people that are so anxious and eager and needing to contribute, but they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do next. And what if all those people could get together on this kind of like a giant dating site where you could put in where you live, what you're up to, can you contribute online, can you go there in person, so that people from countries all over the world could get online today and contribute 3 hours for the afternoon. And what if 1 million people could get on this afternoon and contribute and do something? And what if it was designed in such a way that the next most important thing that needs to be accomplished came up next for people to contribute to? So, I just thought, well, somebody knows how to do that. And so here I am going, let's see. Okay, I'm among the people going, now, what do we do? How do we pull this together? I came up with a name for it. We got this. We got this global, like all together, we got this. It's huge. It's impenetrable problem, but we got this. We can do it. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Beautiful, Summer. I want to welcome back Sister Sarah. Welcome back, Sarah. Looks like Danny has a quick comment, and then we'll pass it on to Jimena, followed by Kelly. Go ahead, Danny.
So, Summer, I a couple of months ago had a similar thing. I wanted to make a convergence of organizations and individuals in a community cooperative website where everybody gets to speak. They come together, they could learn, explore, because they have this energy and they don't know where to go, and they know it shifts upon them and this doesn't work anymore. So it's kind of like, trying to get groups and organizations and movements and individuals lined up. I love your column A, column B, kind of like Chinese menu kind of thing. Maybe we can, look to convert what I have, what's already out there, into your forum, because there are things I don't know at all about technology or how to, other than using Zoom, match people up with actions and other organizations. And through Climate Healers and this networking and the site that I started and Jamin's group, we are getting like a broader and broader network, and John Raymond's and these convergence things are happening. So I'm going to put the link to my site in there and my email. I would love to connect with you. And then maybe we could talk about using what I've already set up. I also have this idea for this, and have talked to Sailesh about this, about trying to create a federation of organizations and get them in sync, at least with one activity at any one given time, to take their resources and move forward with, first being maybe the Climate Healers, the Food Healers action. So it's something hopefully we'll be talking about in a couple of weeks, and would love, to have some more participation on. So I'll just put my little website. It's not mine, it's community. So I just take other people's content, stick it in there. Like I said, I'm low tech, I need help with this. I had one person working with me, and it's kind of like, just been very, tiptoed kind of a thing. My intention is good, but it's like I said, I need people to take part in it if it's going to be community born and cooperatively run. And then we'll see if that is aligned with what you're thinking, and then maybe we can convert what is into what it can be. So I'll just drop that in the chat if you're there. And thank you very much, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Danny. I'll just make a couple of administrative comments before I pass it to Jimena. In half an hour, we'll have SOS Amazonia for 1 hour. And then at 10 o'clock Pacific time, in an hour and a half from now, we'll start a 4-hour segment on the intentional city in the clouds, ICIC, where we seek to bring together all these different communities and movements into an integrated, well-functioning city in the clouds, intentional city. So stay tuned for all that goodness. Jimena, followed by Kelly, followed by Aryabhata, and then Sarah. Jimena, take it away.
I'm okay. I want others to talk then. And Kid Aryabhata is here, so.
So we'll go Kelly, followed by Aryabhata, and then Sarah.
Thanks, Jim, and I won't be long. Yeah, just sort of like piggybacking on what I said about like what the goal of the Veganabler is. It's changing from the Veganabler to like a Veganabler, right? I mean, we're talking about making all these changes, but at the end of the day, we want people to start like changing their diet. And if they don't get that support, they're not going to do it, right? So like that's where I want to fit in, right? Is to show people how to shop, show people how to eat. So like kind of like, show how people how to live in the world that we're living right now, but then also, preparing for like the world that we want, right? So providing people with as much support as possible, because like I'm part of I'm mentors in some of these like, vegan, like Challenge 22 and all that. There's no support. Like I've never had a brainstorming session with anyone. I've never been contacted by the organization. And that's something that like, without that, you just kind of lose interest, right? Like we need to get together. Like that's so urgent, right? We need to all be working together. But at the end of the day, what we're asking for is to, it all comes down to food, and so like we want to address all these, and the biggest way to address all of these issues is food. We got to show people that it's going to be easy. It's going to be delicious. It's going to be all that, right? So, and of course, everything needs to be open source as well, right? And Simon, I loved what you said. I wrote that down. Like the intention is to make itself obsolete. That's exactly it. Like, once everyone has switched their diets and becomes plant-based, then it's over, right? They don't need the support, but right now we do, and coming back and learning for like what everyone's doing, and like what Ray said, like fail forward, like, we got to try, we got to fail, but we got to fail forward and fail fast and learn, because we don't have a lot of time left. Rough.
All right. Jimena's dog, Botticelli, agrees with you, Kelly, so that's a good sign. Next up, we've got Aryabhata, followed by Sarah. Aryabhata, great to see you, brother. Take it away.
Yes, happy to be here. I just wanted to follow up on that project in Navajo County that Dr. Rao was trying to push for, because the reason being that St. John's is right over there, like a little bit like in the same county. And I was just looking at some land openings over there to do some project over there, might as well involve the community over there, so that it's a pit stop kind of a thing. And along with that, I was just thinking of a currency project. So just wanted to hear some thoughts, and I can share some more details about that.
Beautiful. Aryabhata, awesome. Awesome, fantastic. All righty, Sarah, we're just passing the talking feather around. I'm scanning for Sarah. Is she still here, Sarah? Okay, if not, that's okay. Oh, there you are, Sarah. Sorry.
I switched my device and hello everyone. I'm glad to be here, and I enjoyed the Vegan World 2026 conference and the food healers portion about starting in Los Angeles. I'm interested in getting started and helping. I actually have a kitchen that's plant-based where I live at my house. And I know Jane said she wasn't interested in cooking for people. I actually can and am interested in doing it and cooking for people. I probably wouldn't eat the food I cooked, but because I'm mostly raw, but I would love to do it. I think you said you wanted to start doing that, and I'm really available to do it anytime.
Wow.
Okay. Thank you.
No, keep talking, Sarah. Oh my goodness.
Well, I
Love
actually
it.
thought that this meeting was at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and I'm pet sitting, and I just wasn't prepared. But yeah, we have vegan Toastmasters this Sunday. We have it the first and third Sunday. So I know, Danny, you said you were wanting to get involved and do action items. And our vegan Toastmaster group, that's what we do. So anybody can come. We do it online now because of COVID. So I sent Jiva as well as Danny the links. And like I said, it's this Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific. And I think maybe as vegan Toastmasters, we could also take on this cooking, because we usually meet in a church, but we're not doing that. But we have all these plant-based kitchens, and they're all, COVID free. So we could all eat, maybe the president and myself and a couple other members, we could all at our different locations. We all have plant-based kitchens is what I'm saying. We could take this on as a task to launch it and make it actually happen, because I know we keep talking about it, but we really need to do it, because every time I look at the TV, which I try not to watch, but I check on the news for the weather for pet sitting, and I keep seeing all these food banks. They're throwing dead animals into people's cars, and Jane kept talking on the other day about, people aren't going to take the food. They're not going to want it. It's like, no, they're taking anything. They're already driving through these places and accepting just awful things that are making it worse. They're just continuing to eat COVID. So we got to deliver the non-COVID. So yeah. So anyway, so that's my idea. I think that we should take it on as Toastmasters, and I am the Vice President of Education of Toastmasters, and I'm actually going to be running for president. So I'm sure I'll be, able to also just level it up more. But yeah, I know that people will participate. We're all wanting to do stuff. So let's just make it an action item and just do it.
Love it, Sarah. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. So exciting. And by the way, at 10 a.m. Pacific, we do have the ICIC meeting here, Intentional City in the Clouds. So that'll be a great place to continue that conversation as well. All righty. So taking it back to the top of the alphabet, we've got Alan, if you're here with us, followed by BJ. Alan from Scotland, you there? I know Alan often is up here late at night, so he may be sleeping now. So we'll talk quietly. Just kidding. BJ, take it away.
Thank you. I'm just grateful to have this dialogue with everyone. I would like to know where Sir Roland has that information about money that's available, because we do need to be spending it while we have it on the things that are so important to save our planet. And so that's what I have, and I'll pass.
Great. Thank you, BJ. Looks like Sir Roland has a quick comment. Go for it, Sir Roland.
The money is at Singularity University with Ray Kurzweil and Peter Diamandis. And that's number one. But you're not going to get the money unless you've got hard, solid research that says you've made a difference, and that you have evaluations of testimonies online. They don't mess around, Number two, I wanted to stay positive, but David Cooper Ryder, my living guru, says words matter. We do not use the word cooperative. Cooperative means I listen to win my next point. Instead, we use the word collaborate. Collaborate says I listen to really hear what is being said and then converge concisely as Jamin talks about. Amen, hallelujah. Beautiful, Jamin.
Thank you, Sir Roland, and thank you for helping make it beautiful. Everyone. All righty, next up we've got Christopher, followed by Danny. Take it away, Christopher.
I'm just wanted to share right now that I'm struck with how lucky we are that we live in this time when we can all communicate electronically. This electronic party we've got here. You know, I remember a time when a friend of mine told me he was bored. I can't imagine being bored anymore. Like this is, we're at the flaming edge of all of human history right now, and I'm there with you guys. This is, I don't really have a distinct thought to share with you, just that I'm pretty darn excited to be at the party with you all. And I don't know where everything's going, but it sure is exciting at this point. So it's got to be a pretty amazing outcome. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, Christopher. And since you mentioned it, I want to again acknowledge you and Marco and Jimena, among others, for keeping this going 24/7 as you've been doing for months on end. Just incredible. All right, next up we've got Danny, followed by Glenn. Take it away, Danny.
I really didn't have anything to say. I would just encourage people, if you would, to take a look at my website. It's not mine, I keep saying mine, but the PNP website, and join up and start communicating through that, because like I said, it is a convergence point. And there will be actionables, and there are group meetings posted there. So, and you're welcome to put your activities on it, and to write and to blog and bring your energy into the fold there. And for us to start to align under some particular activities and meet other organizations, et cetera, et cetera. So really, I didn't want to say anything, but I'll just reiterate that. So thanks, guys.
Great, thank you, Danny. And looks like Sarah has her hand up for a quick comment before we go to Glenn.
I just have a question. I wanted to know when we're going to start the implementation. If you look in the chat, what I wrote, because I think that we should just start after, I don't know, like at what point are we going to do that in this meeting, or when are we going to start implementing the actual food healers?
Gotcha. So you mentioned you would plan on being here at 10. If you want to come at 10 o'clock, we can talk about it during the ICIC. We've got 15 more minutes left to go here in this meeting, and we're kind of on a little bit of a different rhythm of passing the talking feather. But I'd love to follow up with you on that, Sarah, and really get this going in Los Angeles. And God bless you, and thank you for stepping up. So
I agree. I'm in Los Angeles too, Sarah. So if you could put a way of connecting with you, that'd be great.
If I also might just interject for one quick second, people interested in getting on board with some other these climate healers and food healers activities too. If you're on Signal, I ask you to look me up. I'm going to start a group on Signal. So just, I don't know, contact me on Signal and we'll take it from there. Thanks so much. And that goes out to you too, Simon. Thank you.
Right. Well, we put out the intention of convergence, and here we are converging around an intention. Silas, your little baby is growing up. And speaking of convergence, we've got the godfather of convergence next. Glenn, take it away, followed by Jane.
Well, I noticed there's a lot of conversation here about food, and I haven't heard anybody talk about the Hunger Project, which has been around since the 70s, and I don't know if you're connected to that at all, but they're hitting, I just did a quick look, 24,000 communities, 400,000 volunteers. I mean, they are, you know, they've been leading this charge with hunger for a long time. And then I was struck by the idea of developing projects, and from this platform, or from here, and I think that's an interesting idea, and to move those projects for those people that want to do them into, you know, different time slots, so that those folks can can collaborate and get together. One of the groups that was pivotal for me was a group called the Geneva Group. And the Geneva Group met, we're talking 1985 now, so we met one Saturday a month for a full day for about 25 years. And the idea, though, the group tried, as a group, wanted to take on different projects. And what we learned is that the group really was more like a battery, where people would come and get charged and get more discovery about what's mine to do, and then go out and do it however they, individuals wanted to express in the world. So having a battery place, a charging center, is just another aspect of perhaps this platform, where people from all different, like we are here, we're very diverse, and so coming together and hearing what's going on, getting encouraged by each other, hearing all the collaborative opportunities, and then hey, and if we're not clear about what's mine to do, then there could be an attraction factor, for what happens, and then back out to go. But in addition to housing security, the cost of housing is extremely critical right now, and then of course, and I look at hemp as being a huge solution to the climate change world. Hemp, you can sequester about 10 tons of hemp from one crop per acre, and over here in Hawaii we can grow 3 crops a year. And so that singular plant is an amazing, it offers us amazing opportunities to remember from how to use it and bring it into play, and then bringing all that into and I use the word nonprofit capitalism, but bringing business into a nonprofit strategy and under a big umbrella allows us to really move away from doing business for the benefit of shareholders and investors to doing business for the good of the whole. So looking to strategize how each of these entrepreneurial endeavors can be sustainable and regenerative in a way that recovers the resources that are needed, so that we can keep it going, and you're not always asking for donations and handouts, and so it's like, how do we create that entrepreneurial regenerative cash flow that everyone needs to keep the energy moving and have a local circular economy of things that just but stay local, staying local with the economy and the economic thinking. So with that, I'll mahalo.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Glenn. All right, Jamin's up next, followed by Joyce, who just rejoined. I wanted to share my screen and touch on a couple of points that have just recently been raised, including nonprofit capitalism and also the food project. So first, this is an image of the plant-based stews that we're talking about producing and that Sarah's been talking about getting jump-started. And part of the big idea is that we do this as a launch in Los Angeles that's very, very public. I was corporate strategy manager at Microsoft, and I have familiarity with doing international press conferences that really blast a message into the mind. And so we have this idea of using the Tesla truck to deliver the food with this space age looking trailer, food for the future, and just make a huge press conference and get all the Hollywood, actresses, actors, musicians, etc., celebrities on board. There's so many wonderful, powerful vegans in Los Angeles. Talk about a concentration of effort. And then to touch on the nonprofit capitalism. So first of all, before this kind of mobile food healers idea, years ago, we started the Community Cafe Project, just feeding everyone community by community. Here we are in Rosamond, California. And we came up with a concept, which I've trademarked and built the beginnings of a nonprofit for, called the Compassionate Economy, with a certification, Certified Compassionate Companies, or CCC. And at the bottom, you see the 3 pillars. All profits go to eradicating hunger, a single cause, socially transformational in everything they do, and ecologically regenerative. And with this, our dream was and remains to stoke a cycle we call the Hungerless Games, where the profits go to ending hunger. That creates a global movement and a preference for this brand and really way of doing business, with the community cafes being one of the vectors, now food healers. And the first CCC company, you'll find very interesting to know, Glenn, is a hemp company. Now, my great-grandfather, Diego Pellicer, was the largest grower of hemp in the world in the Victorian era. And with that legacy, I started a business and got the attention of this man, my brother Takuya Sato. The Sato family has the longest, oldest legacy of hemp in the world, based out of Japan. Takuya Sato, the head of the company, is the Hemperor of Japan. So I've got to get you two connected. So wanted to just throw those points out there, because this is such a rich conversation. With that, I'll pass the talking feather. We've got Joyce, followed by Lucas, followed by Marco. Joyce, take it away. And you're on mute there, Joyce, and you may have stepped away. That's okay. Next up, we've got Lucas, followed by Marco, followed by Nancy, and we're getting close to the top of the hour, at which point we'll shift gears to Amazonia. Lucas, take it away, brother.
Hello. I've been basically researching a lot when it comes to how does our gut reacts to our mind when it comes to appetite responses. And what's very particular is how it is that we turn towards certain foods that stimulate endorphins that basically help fuel our emotions that we're participating in cyclically. And that there's different ways in which you can basically process or transmute your emotions that oftentimes stem from trauma. Basically then allowing it so that you can, that your body actually becomes attracted towards certain foods, making it so that you will actually turn towards the healthy foods instead of the foods that kind of distract the body from participating in healthy routines. And yeah, I'd be very interested in talking about it. I'll share. Oh, it says only you can share. Yeah, basically I have a picture of that.
Oh no, here. Let me no, here. I'll make you co-host.
Okay.
Go ahead, Lucas. You're good.
Yeah, this picture that I'm going to show is basically a list of phytonutrients, and yeah, I found it. It's really interesting how all of the different articles that I've read in regards to why grapes are healthy for you, or in regards to how all these different certain fruits or vegetables help heal different things, like resveratrol, flavonoids, lycopene for like tomatoes. That basically this list has all of the different phytonutrients that they found really helps with the body functioning in an efficient way. And yeah, I kind of send it to a lot of people who are maybe going through certain things that when it comes to their organs or metabolically deficient in minerals. Yeah, this kind of explains it in some regard. What fruits, what vegetables, basically what it is that'll help the body. Yeah, work more efficiently. But yeah, one other thing would be when it comes to convergence, having it where we kind of branch off to a lot of different platforms. When it comes to, let's say, Twitter, when it comes to Facebook, when it comes to Zoom, Signal, and basically having it where the groups that each one of us have and that we're a part of kind of comes together in some way and has talking points that are well, in connection to what it is that we all want to grow from.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lucas. All righty, getting close to the top of the hour in Amazonia, but we'll keep it going until Amazonia takes over. We've got Marco, followed by Nancy, followed by Ray. Marco, take it away.
Yeah, hi. I just want to thank everybody that's here for just being who you all are. I really love that idea that Glenn said about, you know, being a battery. And I think that's awesome. You know, we can all be the battery for each other when needed. And we need to remember that always, you know, look to this community when you need help. You know, we're here to save the world. We don't want to let, you know, any one part of us, any one person even is so valuable. You know, we don't want to lose you in any way, shape, or form. So if you're struggling, you should reach out to us. And you know, share your links every time you're in the you know, in this group. You know, share the links so we keep educating ourselves to the other possibilities of collaboration. And tips, you know, sometimes sharing little tips, like I'm amazed at every you know, when I get into meetings and people are struggling, you see them writing down, trying to get down all the links in the chat, when you can do two things. You can either go where you type the message, the three dots on the side, click those three dots, and then you can click save chat. And you may want to do it periodically, and be sure you do it at the end, and it automatically opens a file on your computer and saves the chat. If you're coming in with the computer, you know, that's one simple tip. The other one is you can literally just copy and paste. You can let that run, you know, pull it from the bottom up to the top, you know, copy the whole thing, drop it in a Google Doc. It's real simple. So things like that, you know, I pass along when I remember when there's new people in the group. That helps. Anything we can do to help each other helps us all achieve our individual goals, like and as well as the, you know, the main goal of saving, healing, and transforming life on Earth with all our different little ways. You know, little ways help, and little ways grouped together become big movements. So thank you all.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Marco. Good stuff. All righty, next up we've got, looks like Nancy dropped off. We've got Ray, followed by Sir Roland, followed by Silas. Go for it, Ray.
I mentioned that I'd worked for on and off 20 years in a church setting for a television show called Living Truth, which was always kind of an amusing thing to me, because as a video editor, you are in charge of manipulating everything that happened. You record what happened, and then somebody comes along and manipulates it, makes it seem like something else. So we're kind of like the magicians, but illusionists. And that's always amused me. But of course, this dedication to the truth now is there's. I also took screenwriting in school, which they talk about. There's a truth that's a lowercase t. If you get a biopic following exactly every recorded instance of a person's life, and you're probably going to come up with something pretty dull and boring. But if you tell a fiction that captures all the truth of the person in that the biopic is featuring, then it's a capital truth. It's sharing the truth of that person, and we have this truth in our hands of one of several possible outcomes. I don't guarantee to anyone that we're going to survive climate change, that we're going to come out the other end in the best of all possible futures. But I do believe there's a future out there where we do succeed. And I think that if we are all futurists and kind of look at the best qualities of the human race and trace our way back to how did we get there in that best of all timelines, and look at the obstacles that we'd have to overcome in order to get there. That's the way that you solve this problem. You choose this future and work your way back from it. It's not really a new concept, of course. This is like a lot of what Gandhi kind of showed with his life. But I think this has a lot to do with the word faith, that there is a way and that we will find it. Faith is a word that scares people, like a lot of the animal rights movement that I'm involved with, they self-identify as atheists. There's probably like 80%, according to one figure, that of atheists, people that have lost their faith in some sort of a bigger power. And they said, we just have to get to work with our hands and start to shape the world that we want. But and there's so much talk about the difference between hope and hopium is just sit back and hope that your government is going to solve all the problems. I think Sailesh's opening talk for the convergence was brilliant in the sense that we shouldn't really be resting back and waiting for our government to solve anything. We have to do the work ourselves. We have to get to work and start visioning this world and start taking the steps towards it. And if the steps fail, then we find another way. And if they fail, then we find another way. And we just keep failing until we have the prize that we want. And that's the future that we want.
Thank you, Ray. And I love your backdrop. You're just amazing. Hi, Kelly. Hey. I'm going to drop off. I hope to find you all on Signal and keep the story going. And thank you so much, everybody, for participating. And thank you so much to Jamin for continuing to host these things. I love you so much, everybody. Talk to you later. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you.
She baked
everyone.
these in that cartoon oven back there.
Wow, cartoon food, love it. All right, with this, we're wrapping up Food Healers and shifting gear to SOS Amazonia.